What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my review of the Motorola Edge 2024. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is the Motorola Edge 2024. Now I'm very excited to create this review for you because I feel like this phone is really one of the best values out there this year, and for many reasons. First thing is, this phone is meant to be a higher-end mid-range phone, so we're still getting a pretty capable processor here with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 2. This phone pretty much almost provides a flagship level of performance. We're also getting other very impressive features too, such as the 144Hz refresh rate, and we're just getting a very excellent looking display in general. Now the best thing about this device is that if you do decide to buy it through a carrier, you can get it in many situations for free or close to free. So actually factory unlocked, you can get this phone right now from Motorola directly for $449, which is a pretty good deal. But for example, at Metro by T-Mobile, you can actually get this phone for free if you're porting in from a different carrier, and you can get the phone for just $99 with a new line. So that's honestly very incredible. You're getting a very capable smartphone here for such a low price. Of course, if you go through a carrier, you are going to be stuck with that carrier, but I have a feeling that most people who end up getting this phone probably will end up getting it because of those various deals and promotions being offered, and I'm just really glad to see that even though those people won't be paying too much for the device, they're still getting a fantastic, very capable smartphone. Now before we get too far into things here with the Motorola Edge 2024, let's see what all comes included in the box. So here's the box. You can see right there Edge and the year 2024. We'll open this up, but you can see at first glance this is a thin box, and the reason for that is because unfortunately there is no USB wall adapter included. But opening this up and getting a little bit further in here, we'll see what all we're actually getting. Here we go. We just have this compartment here, and we will see right now what we have. So you can see here we have some literature, and then we're also getting a double-sided USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. So it is very unfortunate that there is no USB wall adapter included, and to add to that, this phone actually is compatible with up to 68-watt fast charging, which is really incredible. That's super fast. Now for reference of how fast 68 watts is, those old wall adapters that would come with the iPhones that had USB-A, those were 5-watt wall adapters. So this is 68 watts. So this is way faster in comparison, which really is fantastic. But since that's not included, you are going to have to provide your own wall adapter that actually is compatible at up to 68 watts, because anything less than that won't recharge this phone at the maximum speed. But until you've used a device that can recharge as fast as this one, you really don't appreciate how awesome that feature really is. Now with this device, we're getting a very large 6.6-inch display, which again looks fantastic. It has Corning Gorilla Glass 3, making it extra durable, and then the display technology here is POLED, and again we are getting that 144Hz refresh rate. One thing to keep in mind though is that you need to go to the settings to get that full refresh rate. So go to the gear icon here in the shade, then go down to display, then from there you're going to see an option here that says display refresh rate. And then from there, you're going to switch it from auto all the way to 144 Hertz. And you can see here, things are super smooth. This is really awesome. So it really makes this device feel especially premium. You can just see how fast I'm able to get through these various screens. And that's all thanks to this really fast 144 Hertz refresh rate. Now, if you want to save some battery, you can always drop it down to 60 Hertz. And there is a difference here. It's definitely a bit more choppy. The phone still works fine, but I would definitely recommend putting the phone in 144 Hz or keeping it at auto. Now the display here is 1080p, we're getting a PPI 402, we're getting a 20:9 aspect ratio, so very narrow but taller form factor here with the device, and we're getting a 90.2% screen to body ratio. So pretty small bezels all throughout, and you can see here though the top bezel is a bit thicker, same with the bottom bezel, and the sides are definitely very thin. Speaking of which, this phone actually has a curved display. It has a very slight curve to it. Now, generally, I'm not a big fan of curved displays. I just feel like it makes things a bit awkward, but this implementation is not too bad because it's not too dramatic. And overall, it does make the phone look very slim and sleek. Now, the front camera here on the device is 32 megapixels, and stay tuned for the full review video of this phone to see a variety of different photo video samples from all the various cameras on here. But overall, I've been very impressed with the quality. Now internally here with the phone, we're getting 256 gigabytes of storage, but unfortunately there is no microSD card expansion, so you are stuck with that amount of storage, but at least 256 is a pretty generous amount of space to have here on the device. Of course, the more the merrier, but again, 256 is not too bad. I know for me at least, I prefer a minimum of 256 on any phone I use. I feel like nowadays 128 is kind of barely enough, so definitely glad to see that despite this being a very affordable smartphone, we are getting such a large amount of storage here. And then with this phone, we're also getting 15-watt wireless charging, which is really nice. That's super convenient to be able to recharge the phone wirelessly and at such a fast rate. And then with this phone, we are getting an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is very fast and responsive. Let's try that one more time. And then also we are getting Face Unlock with this phone as well. So I do appreciate that we are getting multiple methods here for getting into the device. Now, if you're looking for a quick and easy way to get to the camera app here on the phone, simply double press on the power button, and then it'll then pull up the camera here. So that's certainly very nice. Now, one of the things I like about this phone especially is that even though it is meant to be a mid-range smartphone, we're still getting a lot of various camera features, kind of similar to a flagship. Now, on the back of the device, we're getting a 50 megapixel main camera, and then we're also getting a 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that lets us fit a lot more content into a single frame. Now, heading back over to the camera app here, you can see here's the main camera. And then also, if you want to, you can go over to the More tab here and access the 50 Ultra Res, which means you can actually capture images in the full 50 megapixels here on the phone. So by default, it actually doesn't do that, just because most people don't need photos in 50 megapixels, and that does take up a lot more space on your device's storage. But then from here, we can go over to 0.5 to access the ultra wide camera. So again, we can fit a lot into a single frame here. Definitely a big fan of that feature. Now, there is a macro mode, however, it's not using a dedicated macro camera, but at least with that, you can get very close up and have things be in really good detail, so that's nice. And then in video mode here, you can see we do have 4K video for the rear camera, flipping around the front-facing camera, also 4K for the selfie here, so that's nice too. We can also capture, of course, selfie images. You can do portrait selfies as well. Pardon the messy hair here, just a grind day today, but you can see also there's a group selfie mode that crops out a little bit, and you can even pick the amount of blur you want for portrait mode, which is really nice as well. We also have a pro mode here to make a lot of different adjustments to white balance, ISO, and even more here for the rear camera. Then under the More tab, we have options such as scanning a document, spot color, night vision, panorama, ultra res as I showed you. We also have dual capture, so you can capture with both the rear and front facing cameras at the same time, which is really nice. I also like too that we can even do a 50-50 layout here. So just a lot of different options here available to us. We also have dual capture video, spot color as well, photo booth. So just a lot of cool things to try out here. But let's now take a look at some camera samples from the Motorola Edge 2024. So as I mentioned, I've been very happy with the camera quality here from the Motorola Edge 2024. I'll let the quality of these images speak for themselves, but overall you can see how great the quality is. Now, compared to a $1,000 smartphone, certainly things are not at that level. But at the same time, I feel like for most people, they just want to take decent looking photos that are worth saving, worth posting on social media, and good for all those things in general, then the quality here is totally fine for that. You can see in some of these images, there are areas that are heavily shaded and then other areas that are right out there in the sun. And despite all that, the device does a nice job evening things out. So if you are looking for a smartphone that's not too expensive but still has really nice cameras, then I definitely think you should consider getting the Motorola Edge 2024. But let's now take a look at some video samples from the Motorola Edge 2024. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing 4K test video with the Motorola Edge 2024. Definitely curious to know what you think about the video and audio quality. And here is a 4K test video using the main rear camera on the Motorola Edge 2024. We do very quick autofocus in video mode, which is great. Another nice thing with this device too is that you can actually switch to the ultra wide angle camera while recording the same video clip. So let's switch over right now. And then we're now here in the ultra wide camera. So you can see you can fit a bit more into a single frame here, which is nice. Now with this device, we're getting 8 gigabytes of RAM along with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 7S Gen 2 processor. Now as I mentioned earlier in the video, I feel like with this phone, we're pretty much getting flagship level performance. The 7S Gen 2 runs really well and again, just makes the device feel really snappy and really quick. Now I did run a benchmark test using Geekbench 6 and here are the scores in that test. So basically I got a single core score of 958 and a multi-core score of 2950. So what I recommend doing is running this test on your current phone and then compare your scores to these scores to see how the Motorola Edge 2024 compares. But again, from my experience, this phone has run really well and really just is a great device in general. And again, with this phone, we are getting a very large battery at 5,000 milliamp hours along with 68 watt fast charging. Now the software on here is Android 14. This phone will be getting Android 15 when it does come out, which is great. But one of the things I like about Motorola's software here is that they're taking the best of Android and really just adding in some of their own bonus features. So it's not like they're heavily changing things just to change them. So that is very appreciated there. And then with this phone, we're getting NFC. We're also getting stereo speakers via Snapdragon Sound. We're also getting vegan leather on the back of the phone. So it's not leather, but it is kind of a nice feeling material and is nice and durable here. So I think it's a good choice. Definitely very unique too from other phones I've used. But this material is also present on the G Stylus 5G, so keep that in mind. We also have metal around the sides of the device, so overall a pretty premium build to this phone. Not the highest end build ever, but the phone certainly does not feel cheap, that's for sure. Now taking a look at the left side of the device, we actually have a pretty unique button here. It's called the quick button. So we'll hold down on this button to go to the settings first. But you can see with the quick button, a single press will access any app of your choosing. You can also have it activate various options here. And then a double press, which is kind of strange. These are the presets for double press, but you can pick to have your device connect to your PC in different ways. You can have it act as a webcam. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that really deserves having this button up there just be for this purpose if you double press, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. And then also we have the option here for walkie-talkie. So I don't really know who's going to use that, but that is an option there as well. So that's the quick button. Then on the right side of the phone, we have volume up, volume down, and the power button. Then up top here with the noise canceling microphone. And then on the bottom of the phone, we have the slot for the SIM card, USB-C port for charging and data transfer, microphone, and speaker. So this phone does have stereo audio, like I mentioned, so you will be getting audio out of both the main speaker here and the earpiece as well when doing things such as watching video content. And then on the back of the phone, we have Motorola logo, flash, dual camera setup, and that's pretty much it. Versus the unlocked model of it, which has double that at $256. And it's pretty much... So as you can see, this device is excellent for watching video content in multiple ways. First thing is, we're getting this very large display here with excellent colors, especially with it being POLED, that makes things even better here. And then on top of that, we are getting very loud and immersive speakers here on the device. But this concludes my review of the Motorola Edge 2024. As I mentioned, this device is an excellent choice, and I feel like it's well worth the price, especially if you get the phone through a carrier. You're definitely going to save quite a bit of money. But I hope you liked this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But this is Kevin here, and I will see you in the next one. Take care and have a great rest of your day.